you go. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Madison Bell. Today we're going to be doing some reactivity training with Neiko. And whenever someone walks by the fence, Neiko goes ballistic. Neiko's owner said also when he tries to take him for a walk, he goes crazy. So we're going to have Brendan on the other side of the fence, and we're going to fire Neiko up. Then I'm going to show you the steps that I use to train my dogs not to be reactive to people and things on the other side of the fence. Again, these are Madison Bell training tips. These have nothing to do with the other trainer down the street. So a lot of my dogs do bite work and protection work, so I need to make sure that they're under control at all times and they're not trying to dig under the fence, go over the fence, or attack anybody. It's my responsibility to keep them in line. So we're going to send Brendan over here to walk and see if we can get Neiko to follow that, and I just want him to get reactive. You got to get the dogs to be reactive, then teach them not to be reactive. That's the point. So we're going to do this in this setting, and then we'll take Neiko to a real setting like a park. And once he already knows our commands that we want to give him to stop being that way and to relax, then we can initiate the training program. So here we go. All right, do it again. There you go. All right, you're getting too close to the fence. All right, go over by your car again. Neiko, come here. Goodbye. Come here. Sit. Sit. All right, so this time we're going to have him run. I have Neiko on the prong, and I'm going to wheel Neiko back to me. That point, I don't want to reward Neiko. I don't care if he's not barking. I'll say good boy, but if I give him a treat, then I'm telling him whatever action he's doing preceding that is good. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna have him run again, and then we're gonna show you how we're gonna work on this. All right, get ready to run. All right, so we got Neiko reactive to the other side of the fence. So I'm gonna use this leash to keep him from running down there. Whenever the person on the other side starts running, Neiko's gonna get reactive. I'm gonna give him slight tugs and give him commands to wait, no, and leave it, right? So this is how we're gonna start that. So when we go outside of the fence and he sees someone that becomes reactive, when I give him slight tugs and I tell him wait, no, and leave it, then he's gonna listen. Then I'm gonna take him off leash and I'm gonna do the same training without the leash. All right. So just stand by. All right, Brian, go ahead and run. Wait, wait, here, here. No, wait, sit. Good boy. Sit, sit, sit. Neiko, come here. Come on. Leave it. Come on. Leave it. Leave it. Here. 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 Wait. Leave it. Sit. Down. 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 Leave it. Leave it. Sit. Here. Here. Good boy. Leave it. Leave it. Sit. Neiko, come here. Sit. Leave it. And if you see the reactivity, he really wants to go. He really wants to bark at what's on the other side of the fence. But he needs to learn these commands real quick. They don't mean anything if he doesn't understand communication. Here. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Sit. 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 Good boy. No. 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 Leave it. So then I'm going to walk him. I'm going to walk him this way. Come on. Come on. Leave it. No. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. I know this looks familiar to a lot of people. It's what it looks like when your dog wants to get to the other dog on the side of the street. And that's why we did it. So you can see the beginning process of stopping that reactivity. All right. This time I want you to walk, at a medium pace by the fence. Come on. He's still reactive to what's going on. Here. No. Down. 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 No. Down. Leave it. If I were to let him off leash right now, he would jet towards the fence. And I'm going to let him off leash so you can see it. So this is control. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Come on. Back, 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 back. Come here. Neiko, come here. No. Back. Here. Here. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I know. I know. Good boy. Here. Here. We're slowly going back towards the fence. Leave it. I've got his attention on me now. Here, leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Foos. So I use leash pressure to get Neiko to pay attention to me and not what's on the other side of the fence. Here, leave it. we're going to ramp it up real quick. We're going to have Brian run. Go ahead and run down to the end and run back. He can actually see it. As you saw him run. Leave it. Come here. Here, Foos. Ah. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Foos. Down. Down. Good boy. So this next section is going to be Neiko off leash with the reactivity. So we're gonna work on that real quick, and we're gonna show you how we're gonna spin that. But I had to work those commands in there, so when I start saying those commands, he understands what I mean. Neiko, here, 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 sit. Good boy. Down, 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 down. He's worried about what's on the other side of the fence. Okay. So now we're gonna roll off leash. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Neiko off leash. And then I'm going to grab his e-collar remote. Come on. So now we have Neiko off leash. We're using the Sport Dog e-collar remote. I was giving him the commands to leave it and come here. You can see he's pacing the fence right now because Brian was running the fence and he can't believe he missed all that action. So we're going to use this to calm him down. He's on a working level, which is like a 1. It's really low. It's a low stimuli. So we're going to get that to call him back. We're going to have a hard time calling him back, but eventually he's going to come. That's the purpose of the training session. For the dog to understand what you're trying to get them, what you're trying to communicate with them before you take them out and throw them in the fire. All right, Brian, get ready to run the fence. Neiko here. I expect Neiko to run off as soon as he hears Brian running the fence, which is fine because I want to call him back. I want him to run to the fence so that he can understand my command when I don't want him running the fence. Go ahead and run the fence. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Neiko, see? There you go. So now I want to call him back. Neiko, here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Foos. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. The purpose was he came back. That was the whole purpose. We couldn't stop him from running the fence. It's an instinct. It's genetics. But when I told him to come back, he came back. So he understood. So that was the whole purpose of the training session. All right, get ready to run the fence again. Go ahead and go. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Good boy. He watched him run the whole entire fence, and then he stayed with me. That was the purpose of the training session, was to get Neiko to understand not to run the fence and bark at people, which he didn't do, which I was really impressed with that he did on this first go. So that is slowing down reactivity. It's something you need to train a couple times. When you get out in public and you working your dog on the leash of reactivity and you're doing it with an e-collar, it's going to be easier to control your dog than just throwing them out there for the first time and working it out. So that was the whole purpose of that. We're going to have him run the fence a couple more times, and then we're going to do and then we're going to wrap that session up. Neiko, come here. All right, get ready to run the fence again. Neiko, Foos. Good boy. Run it. Leave it. Pan over there to the fence, Brian. Run it. Neiko, here. Leave it. Neiko, good boy. Neiko, stay. Foos. Good boy. So Brian ran the fence. Neiko did not run out to go at the fence. We prepped Neiko for that before we did it. We just didn't throw him in the fire. We prepped him with the commands. Then we added the collar later on. So he's actually better off leash. And why is that? Because dogs are more reactive on leash than they are off leash. If I had him on leash, he would still be barking and going crazy. So I took him off leash, sit down. I took him off leash, and then I had them running the fence line to get Neiko reactive. We're gonna do one more time, and then we're gonna call the session in. Neiko, sit. All right, run the fence. Good boy. Good boy. And you can see he's still looking at the fence as he runs the fence, but he's not running over there to be reactive. Good boy. I've got Neiko's attention. Neiko, here. Foos. Good boy. Good boy. All right, guys. So that's working on reactivity. First, you have to set the setting, have the dog understand the commands. Once the dog understands the commands, then you can take them in a public setting and work on that same thing. So that's what we did with Neiko. We hyped him up to be reactive. Then we gave him commands to not be reactive. Then we placed the tools on him to help him understand what we were trying to tell him and communicate. And then we had a decoy on the other side agitating him to be reactive so that we could bring him back down to a working level. So that's working on reactivity with your dogs on a fence. I know a lot of people have an issue with that. That's how I do it. I start my dogs off. I let them see something. I let them bark at it. I correct it. And then I give them the communication of what is good and what is not. That's where wait, no, stay, and come, all that stuff comes into play, because if I wasn't able to get him to come back to me, he didn't understand recall, then none of that would have been effective. If he didn't understand on leash when I was tugging the leash and I was telling him to wait and no and leave it, then he wouldn't understand when I was telling him no, not to run at the fence. So all that was prepped up in advance so that once he ran the fence, Neiko had a sure way to relieve pressure. Because you got to remember, everything is about pressure. Me adding a prong collar's pressure. Me adding an e-collar's pressure. Giving Neiko a way to understand if he came back to me and he didn't run the fence and bark, he wouldn't have any pressure on him. So that was the whole point of that training exercise. So Neiko's right here. He's loving it. Sit down. He understands the communication. When the dogs understand the communication is when training starts to pop, period. If they can't understand what you're trying to tell them, then you're never going to be able to get through them, and it's going to be on and on and on. So that was Neiko and reactivity. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. You can do it with a prong collar. You can do it with just a knee collar. But I use both to help the dogs understand. Neiko, up, up, sit, come here. Sit, up, sit, down. Neiko, here you go. I guess that thing's dirty. You're a little preppy. Here you go. Anyway, so that's Madison Bell. I hope you guys enjoy watching us work with a reactive dog on a fence line and fixing that issue with some simple commands. Because I know now if I send Neiko out to go run, and if I send him running without any commands, Neiko's going to come back to me and he's going to understand the pressure part of not coming back to me. That's punishment. So we'll run one more time and then we're going to call it a Madison Bell day. Give me one more run on the fence line. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Thank y'all for watching Madison Bell. I hope that helped you. Have a good one.